My favorite part about the CJ-7 is just watching the suspension work. Look at that.
Axial has graced us with another Jeep, but I think this one's a bit more special, guys. It's a classic CJ-7 with a few modern touches on it. It's based on the ready-to-run SCX-10 platform with straight axles. They've got new tires, new wheels, body armor, lots of detail throughout the body. It's just gonna blow you away. But right now, this thing is just bringing back some really good memories for me. When I was young, I had an 85 AMC Cherokee that I rebuilt. And at the same time, my buddy was building a CJ-7 and his barely made it out of the garage. So I'm actually looking forward to driving this one. I've unboxed this rig and it looks so good, but before we get into it, let me show you what else comes inside the box. You get the Spectrum DX3 transmitter. This one has the thumb lever on it if you want a thumb steer. It also comes with AA batteries for the radio, instruction manual, decals, and a bunch of plastic parts, including extra servo saver parts, a mug, and a soda can for the center console, and even these A-pillar mounts if you want to go in and install an aftermarket light bar on it. Now, this rig's actually available in 2 different colors. I've got the gunmetal version, and there is a red version. I'll have affiliate links for them in the video description below. A small portion of that sale helps us out here on the channel and doesn't cost you any extra. And now we can take a look at this beast. The main section of the CJ-7 body is Lexan. It's got a separate windshield, a separate deck section to it, but I love the graphics on the hood, the stripes, the visor decal, awesome custom look to this rig. The front grille is molded. They have inserts for the headlights and markers. There are LED lights behind the headlights, and then in the rear, they have the round red lenses with LED lights behind them too. Look at the body armor on this. I love how it wraps around just like a real rig does. These are hard plastic doors, molded plastic, not Lexan. They have a body clip that you just pop it out and the door will swing open. Love the rocker guards on this with the steps on the side and the stubby front flares. These are molded plastic pieces too. Again, awesome look right out of the box. The cage is molded like you would see on so many other Axial rigs. The cage is nice and strong just in case you roll it, and check out the interior on this. So you got a steering wheel, you've got molded bucket seats and shifters, a center console that actually pops open. There's a little clip on the front, you pop that back. That console will just flip up. You could also see the cup holders. That's where you could throw a couple of beverage cans. They even have a molded dashboard, and you can see the gauges are just a decal graphic. There's even pedals on the floor and some, I guess, diamond plate floor mats or just some rubber floor mats. So it looks like Axial's really stepping it up in the detail department. We've got windshield wipers and the windshield hinge bracket, which has a boss so you could go put A-pillar lights on, and then they even have the offset mirrors on here, so this one's up a little higher than the driver's side. They really did a nice job on it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Now I'm going to pop it off. All the body clips are located on the bottom. In the front, you'll see there's a radiator fan there, and the headlights, actually, I didn't notice this, the marker lights in the front have LEDs in them too, so that's very cool. And then the tail lights, so you'll have to plug those in when you go and run the body just to light up those lights. Now we can take a look at the chassis, and some of it's going to look familiar. It has the metal frame rails and the composite shock perches. They've got a metal panhard bar mount, some cross bracing throughout. You can put a battery in the side floorboard, or you can put it in this rearward position. There's body mount brackets in case you do want to run an aftermarket body on this at some point. And look at the new fender liners. These are specific to the CJ-7, just the way they're shaped. You could add rock lights to it later on down the road. Up front, you'll see the holes where the body mount, and then in the rear, the body posts are actually part of the rear bumper section. They still have the fake engine covering up the motor in the front. Just love the extra detail on this. And the body kind of looks like you could go and maybe cut it out, add a hinge, and you could pop the hood up just to give it some extra detail. I'm sure we'll see a lot of custom builds with this rig. But let's move on to the drivetrain. So they have their multi-function drivetrain in here, and it's equipped from the factory with a dig servo. So you can lock out the rear and pivot the front around for better steering, depending on the type of obstacles that you're going over. And looking at the exploded view, they still have the 2-speed gears on the inside as well. So it looks like you'll be able to pull out the lockout spacer at some point and maybe go and either move your dig servo over if you don't want to use a dig servo, or you could add a second servo and shift the transmission. So I like that they give you that option. The way the transmission's set up, it places the motor towards the front over the front wheels. They have the wild bore drive shafts that go down to the axles, and I was so excited to see this, guys. They have straight axles on this rig. I thought they were gonna give us portals again. We're gonna have to swap it out, but no, they did it right this time. They've got the universals in the front, so you get that 45 degrees of steering, all metal gears throughout the driveline, ball bearings, and the axles on this look really good. I like that they went with the black diff covers. And then the suspension, they have the appropriate shocks for the straight axles, and the suspension actually feels super soft. So I think we're gonna see like a lot of body roll when we're out driving this, just adding to the scale look of this rig. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then for the suspension links, 3-link in the front with panhard bar, 4-link in the rear, and they gave us the larger heavy duty ones, not the little thin ones like they include with the base camp models. Up front, they also give you the heavy duty steering links and even a metal servo horn with this kit. And this is all proven stuff that we know works on the SCX-10 III. So electronics, they've got the 35 turn brush motor under that engine cover again, the 614 servo from Spectrum, Metal Gear Servo, and then they went with the 2-in-1 unit from Spectrum, 40 amp smart ESC. It's got the receiver and speed controller all in this box. And I know it's not everybody's favorite, but it is water resistant. They've got the little boot on the switch here. Here are your pigtails for the LED lights, and it's got an IC3 connector. You guys already saw it has the SX-108 shift servo for the dig, and that's operated with a thumb switch on the radio system. So last thing we need to talk about are the wheels and tires, and these look very cool. They're the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss tire, nice soft compound, and they're mounted to Ridgeline Daytona wheels. This is a beadlock style wheel, not a glue wheel, so I'm stoked to see that too. Now, one thing I noticed about the body, it's a little difficult to put on. When you do go drop this on here, you kind of have to press the inner fender liners in a little bit just so it clears some of the screw bosses that are on the back side of this armor plate here. So it is a little bit of finagling to get it on, but I like how the body locks in on the side. And then of course, you go throw your body clips in. Now, I know some guys give me a hard time when I don't include a driver figure in my crawlers. So I went out and got this guy. It was the largest action figure I could find at the local Walmart, and he's 6.3 inches, and it really needs a 7-inch figure in here, I think. He's just a little too small. So I'm not gonna drive him with this guy in here, but I wanted to let you know that I did try. All right, guys, let's head out and drive the new CJ-7.
Well, guys, it's a beautiful 32 degrees out, a little bit of snow coming down here and there, but you know what? I've got to drive this CJ-7. I just can't wait any longer, and it's just been so much fun to drive. That soft suspension I was talking about really looks good climbing up these rocks. Just see all that suspension articulation. Here's a little slow speed control for you. That's about as slow as I could go with it. Just kind of edging that throttle a little bit. And now actually, this is actually a perfect spot. We could use the dig. I can push down on the dig unit. She'll lock up that rear. There we go. Pivoting the front around. Look at that, perfect. Let it go. Oh, it's still hung up. There we go, unlocked it. Notice it still has a little bit of clicking in the transmission. You know, the body's got some extra weight to it, and I was worried about the suspension kind of unloading when it's on an angle, but it seems to be really manageable. Nice job, Axial. This is definitely on my favorite list.
Not even a quick snowstorm could get me off the mountain while I was driving the CJ-7. I had a really good time with it. I don't know what it is about this rig. It's an SCX-10 III. It's got straight axles on it. There's just something magical to the way it's set up, I guess. It was a lot of fun to drive. Just love the way the suspension articulates over the rocks. It looks so realistic. It is a little back heavy with the cage and the extra armor that's on here. So if you go and throw some brass weights up front, that's gonna smoothen it out just like every other rock crawler out there. I think guys that may have a real CJ-7 that want an RC version are really gonna enjoy this. Just right out of the box, the servo works well for the steering. The throttle management's fine with the 2-in-1 speed controller receiver combo. You're just gonna enjoy this rig, have fun with it, throw your favorite action figure in as a driver and go for it. The guys that are a bit more into RC, I think, again, you're gonna wanna throw some brass in here. At some point, you'll do a servo and a smoother speed controller motor setup. You're also gonna wanna take that transmission apart and pack it full of grease, kind of quiet down that clicking, but this is a very capable rig. I love this particular version. As I said before, probably one of my favorite of the SCX-10 group, and the tires on here work well. The rig just looks good overall. You know, I didn't get to drive my friend's Jeep back in the day, but this is an awesome experience that more than made up for it.